Shalom, shalom, brothers. Brother Kamal Mahar here, back at it again. First thing first, we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh Shah, Baharu Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders on the truth from GMS. Blessing to Aki, my dear preaching his word, with hard to sincerity. Blessing 144,000 and 1/3 entirely, the first fruits, kingdom of heaven. House of David, WF, Dawadah. And shalom, you brothers out there speaking different tongues and looking different nations. Shalom to you, brothers. I'm doing this video again. You brothers wouldn't even know that. I just recorded one and then it was all muted. Apparently it was an audio problem, but show must go on. Hey, keep on going. Brothers, I wanted to get into a video that land back off my camp yesterday with the brothers. We was getting into being not hasty to speak. This is an extremely and very important topic. What we was getting into was the fact that, life and death is in the power of the tongue. There's so many different paths that can be taken through the delivery of what you say. And a lot of times in the scriptures, it likes to talk about how being, a little bit more listening and being quiet and observe your environment. As far as what you're doing, it's the scriptures is basically like teaching you how to play chess for real. You want to be able to be in a situation where you're talking to your boss, or you're in a group of people, or you in a new environment, or you in a terrible environment where you don't belong there, but you have to be there. There's so many different things that can just apply to for you to be able to be successful or even save your life or your job or so. One of the key aspects I really realize is especially with my own life, is basically like whenever you're in a situation, when you're like around people, it's always best to observe. Not everybody can do it. I can when I'm focused on it. And I took a sociology class before where there's like little avenues you can do it in order for yourself to see what that feel like. But it's very interesting because when you're observing your environment, you can see who people's characteristic traits are, mannerisms, how they really feel, what their actions are, and you can read them from there. Then knowing that how people communicate. Before you open your mouth, you already know what to say and how to pretty much put yourself in a high productive, beneficial situation that can pretty much help you out. But what you'll notice is opening your mouth too fast or too sudden, probably the same thing, can always probably put you in a scenario where you can F yourself, or, you know what I mean? Or you're in a position where people know you a talker. That ain't good. One of the key things that I did like to say is the fact that scriptures talk about being a fool. Now, being a fool is a real bad scenario to be in. Matter of fact, for edification's sake, look up fool. Definition. A fool is a person who acts unwisely, imprudently, and a silly person. It ain't good. Let me see. A silly or stupid person, a person who lacks judgment or sense. There you go. That's a good one too. That's a good one. Bible is probably all the same. Who are rebelled against God. It was called person fool as a sign of hatred towards them and sinful because they're rebelling. Okay, so this is a rebelling against God, which is you're still a damn fool for that. I will definitely agree with that and concur with it. Let me start with Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes is a really good one. I like to get to, because now this is a situation where, say, brothers are at camp, and it's always going to be a person that's going to come up, and they're going to be either a Muslim, Christianity situation, Catholic. Don't get too many of those, but they're the opposite of what we're doing, and let alone is definitely Israelites who are involved with this same scenario. So what they would do is, while brothers is teaching, obviously according to the scriptures, is better. I'll just bring the precept out. Ecclesiastes 5, I'm gonna go 1 and 2. It says, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of Yahweh, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Right. So when the brothers are out there, they're well versed, they've been studying this for years. They're very advanced. They know the breakdowns, do the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Throughout it, I'm one of them. We know what we're talking about. One, we read the scriptures pretty often. We get into it often, and we know the breakdowns. We've been taught very well. We're highly learned. We can pretty much answer any question, any topic of the scriptures. Now, being so that you might as well say brothers are like 4-year degree, bachelor's, master's degree, PhDs in the scriptures. A lot of brothers are, and I'm pretty much up on that level as well, humbly and modestly. I know some things myself. When brothers are like that or teaching, they're there to teach the people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Seminole Indians, and they're there to preach the gospel. First things first, let you know you an Israelite, all the shenanigans, and then the names of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, etc. We are the Israelites, and then, the kingdom of heaven is at hand, repent, right? Okay, give up the law, do the best we can, depending on what question is being asked. We can go accordingly. But then what you'll notice is there will either be two different scenarios. Well, the main one would be the fact that the people will go up against us. Either we're wrong because of what they believe in or whatever their grandmom said. They're willing to cut a brother off or just want to ask a question to be prideful or to contend. And they're doing too much. And so they'll ask a question. Brothers will start to answer it, and then in between the answering of the question, there they go again, blabbering out the mouth with another question that we didn't get to finish the first one. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of Yahweh, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider that consider not that they do evil. Here's another aspect to it. One thing that I really notice, even when they're coming with another question, or they will pretty much elaborate on what it is they think that's right according to the question they're asking and what they think they know. They always want to consider another question or another precept to back them up that has nothing to do with what they're trying to say. So they're swinging with the wrong, like they're using 9mm bullets into a rifle type of situation. They take two different ammos, if that makes any sense. It doesn't relate. It's just not what you use. Or they will come up with a precept that little do they know they're going to cut themselves because a verse or two before or a verse or two after will say something differently. And predominantly, it will be something along the lines of everybody can be saved, and it's not only Israel. And most of the time, 2 verses down or 2 verses up will prove that it was Israel. I find that very interesting whenever people go to particular scriptures to try to create a narrative that this is for everybody's, especially with the Gentile word. That's a stumbling block. It really is. But for the point of the video, they're blabbering off the mouth and they're saying things that they don't understand or know. Verse 2, be not rash with thy mouth, and let thy heart be hasty to utter anything before Yahweh. For Yahweh is in heaven and thou upon the earth. Therefore, let thy words be few. The Lord is bigger than you. You know what I'm saying? The prophets are bigger than you. You know what I mean? They're sent through Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, with the Rakak Wadash to preach the words. They're built specifically special and exclusive to say the things they were saying through the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So, in conclusion of that, when we're speaking, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is speaking. So they're bigger than you, and you're down here on a low level. Who are you for real? You don't know what you're talking about. It's better for you to be quiet and listen and what's being said. And then when the question is being asked, let us answer it, and then let it just be that. Do your own research upon what we answered, and then you can see the proof in the pudding along what we had gave you. One thing about prophets and brothers who teach, they're not going to just say things. They're going to go through the scriptures, show you where it's at, explain what it is saying, answer it properly, and also even put you on game and allow you to go ahead and give you the knowledge and the resources to look it up yourself if need be. You see that? That's just some real thorough shit. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 10, and I'm go to 12 through 14. The words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool will swallow up himself. Now, why is a wise man's mouth gracious? Well, one, he's very, very calculated. A wise man's mouth is calculated. They say specific things that's appropriate enough that's going to get them to have a high productive result on whatever it is they're in. A wise man will just observe and look around. If they're in a group, they can sense things. They're more calm. They're more open-minded. They can fish out the bullshit. Shoot, a wise man will even know not to even speak to a fool, even if he know, like a wise man will see a fool a mile away and don't even go his way to put himself in a position to even speak to a fool or have to speak to a fool, knowing that he's a fool. Just by the observation, being around a person, watching them do what they do. Well, that's a damn fool right there. I ain't got no words for that brother. That brother being around that brother or sister can put me in the harm's way probably. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? I also like to bring up that I brought up a John Wick type of a scene in my last camp when the one Russian guy spoke to John Wick and tried to get him to not do what he do because his son had stole his car and killed his dog, right? So when the guy was on the phone, he was, blabbered the mouth, but, he was saying what he was saying. He was pleading for real is what he was. He's pleading like, can we just go about this another way? John Wick didn't say anything. Soon as the guy got to a certain point of what he was saying, John Wick banged the phone. The guy that was with the guy blabbering said, what did he say? Which we know as the people watching the movie, he didn't say anything. And then the guy said enough, which means he didn't say anything and said a whole lot. Hey, that's the whole point. You can sometimes there's a situation where not saying anything, you said a multitude of things. And people will understand by not saying anything what that will probably mean according to what's going on. You gotta remember, being hasty with your mouth can really do some damage. And it's a power of, life and death. And I'm going to bring that precept out. Let me go to 13. The beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness. Right. After a while, when a fool is speaking, after a while, it's highly recognizable in the environment that he's in. The sad part about being a fool is a lot of times people that's in the foolish situation of themselves can't even see they're in the foolish scenario. You might have to watch a video and a playback to be like, damn, I was a damn fool that day. Or it was times where I got very angry at some point and I pretty much embarrassed myself, and there was like a family gathering or something. It's like a testimonial or a confession type of thing. I got real mad at a woman or so, which that's even not good. And there was a family gathering, and I sat there and I tell you what, bro, it was not good. It was literally this 14th verse right here. By the end of the situation, I looked it real bad. Yeah, I'm screaming, yelling. You're supposed to be a grown ass man. You over here just embarrassing yourself like that. You know what I mean? I didn't consider the image. I didn't consider the perceptions of, even if it was somebody that just didn't even know me yet, the first time they ever met me, or, just a bad look. I created a terrible situation that I did recover from, but it's a situation where now you got to apologize to people. And then when you play it back and you sober up and you reflect on it, you look like a damn fool. You know you was a damn fool, and you should be feeling some type of way about what it is you did. Now when you look back on it, you like, damn, that was bad. And that's what it does. Verse 14, a fool also is full of words, right? A man cannot tell what shall be and what shall be after him. Who can tell him? Right. You full of words, bro. You don't even know what's. It's a bad look, man. It's just a bad look. And this is a very, very extreme important topic because this can be the control of your job, your livelihood, friends, family. You can burn bridges, man. Yo, it's a bad situation. Proverbs 21 and I believe it's 13. Whoso stoppeth his ears at the cry of the poor, he also shall cry himself, but shall not be heard. Right. You stopping your ears, man, to hear something really, really need to hear. or a lowly man or whatever, you stop in your air, all right, cool. It's going to be a time where you're going to really need some situation yourself. And it's going to be a fair scenario not to leave you on stuck for real. You really just don't want that. Let me go to, this is a really good one. Proverbs 18, right? 16, 17, I'm going to drop down to 21. No, 6 and 7. It says it's the same thing. A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calls for strokes. It does. A fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul. Now let's go to NLT with 6. A fool's words get them into constant quarrels, like beefs, enemies, things of that nature, conflicts. But they are asking for a beating. Hey, yo, you know how many times people can talk themselves and getting the ass whooped? Oh, man, look at boxing. They have they actually they're like before a boxing fight start, there's always a documentary interview thing. It's probably like a, like stars. If two big fighters are fighting, there's always an A and a B side. So say if it was like Gervonta Davis, he's the A side, and then the guy's fighting. There'll be like a 4-episode series, like All Access or so. And what they're doing is they're talking about their journey. They're talking about their family structure, where they came from, their training. It'll show them training, having a little fun, see how they move with their families and how they are with their children. And one part of the episodes, what you'll notice is they're talking greasy. They're literally using bad, judgments and talking about what they're going to do to the person that they're about to fight. It's a whole lot of that. And they're both doing it, but somebody on either side is not going to go well for. But they both talking. So if you're the one talking greasy and then you get beat up, hey, it's one of those things. Gotta let it go, right? Verse 21, it says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Now, I did speak on this one brother. He's a Philly rapper. His name was A.R.Ab. And me growing up, I will always I see videos of him. I'm not sure if it's a documentary, but videos of him, talking about how he robs people, make money, glorifying the crimes that he made, people he beat up, just real rah-rah. Now in this case scenario, on a carnal level, he has been known to do the walk thing, but and with that particular lifestyle, it comes at an end, and which it did. But what I'm saying is, as the guy was doing a lot of that on video and just being very flashy with his mouth, eventually something bad happened, like being shot or put himself in a bad hospital situation, or something really bad happened to him. And that was just one of my things that I noticed. It was like, wow, like, what I mean? Like the things he would say will pretty much got him into these situations that sounds like Proverbs 18 and 21. And also the 6 and 7, especially when it comes to fools. Verse 6, fools' words get them into constant quarrels, and they are asking for a beating. And that's exactly what happened and how it went down. There's only a lifespan of time that you're going to be able to successfully talk really, really bad against another person or group of people, and nothing's going to happen at all. So with that, brothers, I brought this out as edifying, Lord willing. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahar Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders that learned truth from. Blessings to the Akim there preaching his word. Wahor to the sincerity. Blessed to the 144,000, 1/3 entirely. The first fruits came in heaven. Has David, the Biaf, Dawadah. And Shalom, the brothers there speaking different tongues and looking at different nations. Shalom, brothers.